back on the iMDrive. And when I heard the other side, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. We're still on the other side.
Yeah. If you remember, it was the conversation that got
Yeah.
sparked on Thursday
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
made him follow up with this voice
Yeah.
note to share with us.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing journey. I think a lot of people have probably it's not marriages, but then lost jobs upon jobs, maybe fired for standing by your faith or something. It's a whole lot. But until you hear other people sharing their stories, you might think that you're in the worst position ever.
And you're all alone.
Yeah. This year is your year to restart. It's your year to reset. But how are you going to reset if you are not necessarily in that position to do it? That is what we're doing with you this month.
So we're going to go live soon with our guest this morning, Aduba Asare. She's the CEO and co-founder of Naya Success Access. We'll be live on Sunny TV, which can be accessed on Amazon Fire TV and Google Android TV worldwide. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our socials for updates. In about 5 minutes, we go live with our guest this morning. Stay with us right here on the iMDrive.
If you ever needed God to come through for you, then he did. This is a celebration of the grace of God. Let's go. Kim Burrell.
My testimony is real. Yeah, I came this far by faith. My road ain't always been smooth, but I don't look like everything I've been through. Oh no. Truth is I'm kept blessed by the best, and one word describes the rest. Oh, grace. You brought me this far. Grace. Hey. He's kept me by his grace. Oh, grace. Hey. My faith, my future is bright. Hey. He's brought me from a mighty long way. Ooh, I walk by faith and not sight. Oh yeah, that's how I made it where I am today. Truth is I'm kept blessed by the best, and one word describes the rest. Grace, yeah, nothing but your grace. Something about your grace. Grace. Ooh, yeah.
Undeserved,
Undeserved,
unearned,
unearned,
unmerited,
unmerited favor. Yeah.
undeserved,
So undeserved.
unearned,
And it's unearned.
unmerited.
Unmerited favor. Oh, don't deserve it, and I can't earn it. And Lord, I want to really thank you for your
Let's go.
favor. Grace. Hey, I made it this far on your grace. Yeah, I made it this far on your grace. Ooh, yes, I made it on your grace. I never would have made it this far. Grace. I made it through storms. See, it was because of your grace. Hey, I made it through rain and faced some pain with your grace. Hey, held on to your hand. You helped me to stand with your grace. I'm still alive because of your grace.
God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I want you to know wherever you need God's grace, it's always sufficient, on time, and exactly what you need.
Amazing grace, how sweet. Amazing grace, how sweet.
You're nothing less than amazing.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
Sweeter than the honey and a honeycomb.
dose of motivation. Right here on the Inspirational Morning Drive.
On Sunny 88.7 FM.
Back here, Sunny 88.7 FM. We're live on your radio. We're live on Facebook at Sunny 88.7, live on YouTube as well. We're live on the Sunny app. So go to Sunny TVGH on your App Store, on your Play Store. Download the app and join us. On the app, you find Sunny TV, you find Sunny FM. If you're getting out of your car, you can continue with us on this conversation. It's Start Right, the Research Edition, right here on radio.
And this morning we have our very first guest for the Reset series. We have Naya Aduba. She's the CEO of Naya Success Access Farms. She walked away from her role as a church administrator and stepped into the world of poultry farming. Quite interesting, but her journey has not been easy. Like we said this morning, she's had to start over not once, not twice, but 3 times. And through it all, we believe she's built something strong, something resilient, something that is full of purpose. And her story is one of perseverance and hope. And so we look forward to her sharing her story to encourage us. And one thing, Ajma, we've been telling all our guests we're going to be featuring is that they share with us their favorite quote about a fresh start, restart, or their personal quotes that they're just going to be creating just for this series this morning. So, yeah, you're welcome to the iMDrive on Sunny 88.7 FM.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, Ajumai.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
And I think, first of all, maybe let's start with you sharing with us an overview. Give us an overview of Naya Success Access Farms, your successes so far, how many years you've been in business, your partnerships, where the business is now after all these years.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So my name is Aduba Asare, and I'm the co-founder of Naya Success Access Farms. I started this business with Mr. Asare, my husband, and he's been very supportive. He's somebody I'll call the he for she. So he would always want to substitute a woman if he has the opportunity to. Yeah. So we started in 2019. Like the idea started dropping in 2018, but we started work in 2019. And as at now, we have a lot of partners, a lot of suppliers, and thanks be to God, we have a bigger farmland. We started from a backyard at Adenta, my dad's house. He was generous enough to give us his backyard as a blank check. So it has grown, the business has grown, and we are now currently on our own land at Ebri Maria Krum, where we have a coop size of that can house over 7,000 birds.
Ooh.
We have over 5 full-time workers. Yes, and it's been good. We have our impact is what actually pushes us every day. We have a lot of businesses who keep knocking on our doorsteps for supplies, and we have students who come to intern. So before vacation, a lot of students, a lot of parents are knocking on our doors for us to make room for them in one way or the other. Yes. So when we look at all that, it keeps us running. Like you just can't afford to fold up. Yes. We have some of our workers in school.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what really pushes us to go.
I think she's one bold woman for those of us who follow her work and all the pictures she's doing for her business. And I just want to ask her, how did you feel when the call came through to join us for our Reset series, knowing the story of your life?
Yes. At the beginning, I was telling this story of how I started, but at a point, I realized that no, you have to just disappear and actually go do the work. So last year was a very difficult time for us. So we had to put the business on the lowest key and actually look at the structures and how to actually make things work. We had to look at our management systems, the labor, human resources, what to do to keep them motivated. We had to look at our sales structures, our products, and whether it was good enough. The feedback, a lot of feedback from customers keeps us in check. yeah, so we put our business on a low key for a while, and we started production in August last year. So that was the last quarter of the year. And during that time, it was a difficult time, but we made use of the time by studying more, by resting, by taking a step back to see what actually goes on, by supporting other farmers. So we bought a lot from other farmers to sell from them. And we've also given them feedback. So
Mm.
it actually also puts us in check.
Okay.
So we've helped other farmers to grow, and we've also helped a lot of females to start their businesses. Some are very unsure of what to do, how to navigate through. And last year was very quiet for us, but I think on the side we did a lot of good work. And amazingly, we came out with 5 new chicken variants last year because the market was very slow, and we had to sell at all costs. So meeting people's budget made us bring up 5 new products. So we had to innovate or die.
So it is time
Yeah.
to share your story now.
Yes.
All right, Ajoy.
I love that part. You know,
Yeah.
the last part.
Yeah.
We had to innovate
Innovate.
or die. You understand? So write it somewhere, all right? I mean, when when things are looking south, you might have to innovate or you go south with it. I'd like to start from the beginning. I mean, for some of us, it's usually a gradual process. You're hearing, you've got to start something. There's a nudge here and there. When was that, beginning for you? Because I understand you were you were a church administrator before that particular move. How did it all begin for you?
Yeah. So previously I was a church mouse. So I'll say always in church. I worked as a church administrator for 10 years. So my workplace was in the church, and I fellowship too in the church. So from Monday to Sunday, I'll be in the church. And if you are not careful, you blur the lines between work and prayer. Like, as in you're always praying. So the time my mom-in-law thought I was a pastor. I don't know. I was a worker in the church. And if you're not careful, you may think a volunteer for the church. But this was a full-time job. So I had a mandate. I had to restructure the church administration. I was the first person to occupy that role as a full-time person. So you had to be creative. So you have to do a lot of research. What is happening elsewhere? Then you have to set goals for yourself, because no one is actually watching you, but you always have to be sure that you've been accountable. So stewardship comes in. So what do you do from 8 to 5 when you are in the office? Yeah. So we started restructuring, started having small goals for the team. We had a lot of workers who were accounting to us, the security staff, the church warden, other administrative persons in the church. So we had to restructure something. So we started the morning devotions. So then people start looking at you some way, because you have to start work by 8, because we all have to assemble and pray before we start work. So if you are late, now everybody sees that you are not doing something right. So I started putting in place the policies and procedures, because it was silent. Everybody knows we start work in the morning, but exactly what time?
What time?
Then you put in place attendance book. Then you start logging and knowing those who are late, when you log out, when you leave the office, when you are not engaged. And at the end of the month, you have to present a report. That was an unsolicited report. But who cared anyway? The administrator cared, and I was documenting. Yeah, so I realized I was doing something that wasn't going down well for some people, but some people also appreciated it. So I realized when it wasn't coming, then people start asking. Then we started putting in place a system of appraisals for workers and all. Yeah, so that was the wake up call. And it got to a point I realized I wasn't finding favor in the sight of the board. So I had to start looking for alternatives. And it was painful. When you send in an application and you don't get any response, you don't know whether you've been shortlisted, you don't know whether the application got to the right place, you hear nothing. So for 3 solid years, I'll put in applications to various institutions.
While you were still a church
While-
administrator.
Yes, because I was looking for other opportunities to move. And God says, wait. Jenny, it was difficult. 3 years of waiting.
How many applications roughly? Can you put a number to it?
40
40 applications in
thereabout,
3
yes.
years.
to institutions who needed administrators. And once I went for an interview, I got lucky enough. I went for an interview. It was a national opening, and I got shortlisted. We were up to 4. The last 4, we were going to negotiate for our salaries. I was told I was too clean for the job.
Did you-
So there was an aura. I was told there was an aura around me that wouldn't make people feel comfortable if I'm employed as the HR of that institution. So it was difficult. I had to just tell God that I was done applying for jobs.
You were above the role or something.
No, I was too decent. I was too clean. I was too, like, your demeanor
You were
was
unapproachable or something.
Laid
no.
back, or what do they
no.
mean?
You look angelic. You look so right. You look so prim and proper.
And they
You
don't need a person
you
like
look
that.
too disciplined.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
You see,
But for such a role, anyway.
yeah.
I mean,
So
how did that make you feel? Because I would understand if I came for an interview and say, you know, madam, these are the
you
negatives,
probably
but
should
to
feel
tell me
good
that
going
I
home.
look too clean. But Ajima, it would be disturbing because I'm here for a job, but I'm too clean for that. How did that feel?
so I felt that, okay, God, I'm not a pastor, but you are making me radiate all the, like, all things that people see you and they say, oh, are you a pastor? Or like, or pray for me. I'm like, really? God, I'm not that there. You know, I still have my struggles and everything.
Yeah.
I go for a formal interview and like, you are told you are too, like, you are too decent, you are too clean, you are so disciplined that when you come to the workspace, people will not be free to work.
Wow.
Like, you use the measure as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I told God I was done looking for jobs. Now, he should just do what he wants to do. And I was tired of being the HR. You are the entry and exit point. Yeah, so for the church, every 4 years or in a while, we have people transferring, people moving in and out. So I'll interview and I'll see people move out for opportunities as well. So it got to a point I felt that I was becoming the church's property. I was feeling stale. I was feeling everything. So God, now do your thing. Because when I apply for interviews, you seem not to choose me. Yeah, so then I started seeing dreams. I started having dreams and seeing things. Like, so every year the church has a theme for the year. And the administration, you need to work closely with pastors to come up with some of these things. And for all the various departments of the church, you need to make sure they are running with this theme. So in all that we do, we need to seek whether it's in alignment with the theme for the church and for the year. Yeah, so that was when I started studying widely. So whatever you pick, make sure you just oppose it to what is being done. And one of the years, the theme that was chosen was my year with God in growth, gain, and glory. That was in 2018, and the color was green. Yeah, so
She's actually in green. She has some color shades of green.
all the
Her clothing.
marketing stuff of the church has to be done in green.
The shades of
Yeah, so then I started reflecting, God, what, you need to imbibe what the theme is before you can teach it to others.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my year with God in growth, gain, and glory. So we were teaching in abundance. Christians should do work such that God blesses them. So, the church needs donations, we need tithes, we need offerings. But if our members are not well endowed, they can't give that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then God says, okay, you have been teaching this over the years. This year, be an example. It has to start with you. You were waiting for me to fill you. Now I'm ready. Then I start seeing dreams. I start seeing corn. I start seeing fields, wheat. So at a point, it's like Joseph. When he had, like, the images when you see Joseph in Egypt. Yeah, so his dreams, when he tells his brothers what happens to him. And I didn't know who to tell. It was scary. But one of the times I was in my dad's house, I was married then, so I'd moved out. So I was in my dad's house and I was just taking a walk at the backyard and I heard strongly take dominion. I didn't know what it was. But as I said, I am stubborn sometimes. So now when God speaks and you hear it clearly, take dominion, I went to ask my dad and he says, okay, you can have the backyard. Now for what? I really didn't know. But when I was a younger child, my mom used to do everything some like she was a teacher.
Little garden, little,
Yeah. So some of the things seemed like punishments. So this same backyard was where we had fed rabbits, we had fed chickens, there were plantains there. We could be asked to go weed. It felt like punishment. So now take dominion. Okay, so I just want to do the things mom used to ask us to do when we were younger. And I wanted a few chickens. My proposal was like about 50 to 100 chickens. So I asked my husband to help me with a small coop so I can start something. Like the time I came, it was a big project. I was like, no, this is not what I wanted.
So by this time, were you still in the church or you had quit?
I was still in the church.
Okay.
Yeah. So this battle went on for 3 years, from 2015. So by 2018, I'd gone to ask to use the backyard
Okay.
because that was the time the voices were becoming overpowering, and the dreams you would see things and you wonder if you're hallucinating. Yeah. So the drive and the dreams became worrying. It was like a burden now. Yeah. So I asked for permission. I was given the permission. I asked for a coop, and the coop was a house. The coop you are used to is this wooden structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
but this
envisaged.
man went to do. So that's my husband. He went to do a house, like
At the
really,
backyard.
At the backyard, a
Mm.
small chicken house. Yeah, so it was difficult, but I had to listen to him, and I was afraid because the church has a lot of people, so the network in the church, you start asking people, start finding out what it takes to run a poultry farm, because there were poultry farmers in the church. Then they let you see the reality on the ground, and you are wondering if you can do it. But this man says, let's do it. So instead of 100 chickens, he goes to do 300. Then, Jenny, the issue
Whoa.
was not about the starting or anything. Just like when you have a baby, the pregnancy is not an issue. It's when you give birth. So we started with this chicken. This layers 300. Feed them every morning. So I was so energetic. I'll feed them in the morning before I rush off to work, and I'll come back in the evening. They are fine. So that wasn't the issue. The issue started when they started laying eggs. So just like a breastfeeding mom, you start feeling nauseous every now and then as to go feed your baby. So at 10 a.m., I'll start feeling very uncomfortable in the office. Go check, and at that time I wasn't taking my breaks. So now I started working with time. When I come to work, I need to take my break, first break, second break. Yes. So I would go, and by the time I enter the coop at 10 a.m., there are lots of eggs on the ground. So you go pick them, quickly rush back to the office at 12 noon when it's lunchtime. You rush back to the coop and there's still eggs. So after a year or two, the sales from the farm was more than my salary, and the demands on the farm was a lot. Yeah, so I realized it was time now to make a move and just leave and go concentrate on.
Jenny, this is interesting, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, let me remind you, you can join us if you are listening, you have a comment or two you want to share, maybe personally you want to ask a question. Join us on our WhatsApp line, 0540-130684. That is 0540-130684. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube as well, Sunny 88.7. So over there, you can also say hi when you come on. You can share your questions with us over there as well. And we're on the resets or the restart series this month on the radio. We're talking to Success Access.
Naya Success Access.
Naya Success Access. And it's quite interesting how
Yeah.
she started. I mean, how many years exactly can you recount? You got to a point where you realize that no, I mean, now this is a
It's
profitable
time to
business.
transition
Yeah.
fully.
So after 2 years of doing the work on the side, so the structure started in 2017, 2018. By 2019 January, I had to exit. By April, it was finalized. I was out of,
Fully.
yes.
But let's talk about your transition, fully transitioning. If you can share with us a particular setback and something crucial that it taught you that you like to share with people who are also in a particular season of their lives where you have been before.
So working in a church is like having a relationship with God. So you're always in His presence. You work-
Literally.
literally,
Yeah.
and you are fine. You feel covered. You feel insured. You feel safe. Yeah. So when it was time for me to move out, it was difficult. It's like breaking a relationship, literally. So leaving was difficult. So it took almost 2-3 years for me to be pushed out. So my district minister knew about my story. He knew how I was yearning to move out, how I wanted change. That was Reverend Kenna Asare. So one of the times I made a move and I informed the church that I was leaving. I actually thought they would give me something like a softer schedule so that some way somehow I'll be in the office.
Can have your
working.
cake and eat it.
He says, no, you have to go. Yeah, has to
It
go.
hit you hard, right?
It really hit me hard. So I put in a letter, and on Monday I had lost my job. Then he just actually pushed me out, literally. And the session also agreed. I was hurt. Annie, the church should have considered, and massaged this thing, because I was going to do nothing. So I was pushed out. So I left, and I realized that was when I could hear God's voice more. You get it? Away from the noise, away from. So I was hurt to the point that when I'm speaking, sometimes when I try to explain, it's a big church and everybody wants to know what happened. When I try to explain, I feel like a sore throat, there's a lump in my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I really identify with Joseph. When the angel told Joseph to not to ask questions like, that's Mary. And I think Elizabeth's husband too, he doubted and he lost his voice. Yeah, so you could literally feel being choked when you try to explain. So I realized, okay, sometimes God wants you to be silent when He's working on you. Don't announce what is happening. You don't really owe people explanation. So I started walking early in the morning. Sometimes my husband doesn't really understand what is happening because he sees me pray a lot, and he's wondering, like, you
You've
are
got it
taking
all
this
covered.
Jesus thing too far. But I know what is happening to me. I know what I'm hearing. I know what I'm feeling. I know what I'm discerning. Sometimes the messages, you are downloading messages within your spirit, you yourself don't understand. So you just need to write when you have to write. And in your quiet times, with time, it gets clearer. Yeah, so that's how I've navigated as a business owner. I could literally see numbers that weren't making sense. So you just write them, just piece them together, and with time, it makes sense. And my business will have pitched a lot. I started with nothing. I didn't have capital. I left with my salary. At the end of the month, the salary I was paid by the church. I didn't have savings. I didn't have anything. So God says He will provide. So the opportunities in the ecosystem where I have benefited for more than 6 years on many acceleration programs by the MDF, by the British Council, by the GIZ. There are a lot of trainings, NBSSI. So you take those opportunities, and it's an opportunity to grow. Yes, so that's how the business has grown. People offer, so some of these acceleration programs has grants attached to them. So it prepares you to be investor ready. So when you are serious, you go by the compliance aspects of it. Your business grows from one level to the other. So it looks like there's no free cheese anywhere, but there's actually a lot of free cheese.
Mm.
It's only up to we, the entrepreneurs or people, the stakeholders, to take advantage of. People enter these acceleration programs and their attitude, they are late, they don't submit assignments, they don't do what they're asked to do. So with that attitude, they finish with that attitude and they think it doesn't really work. But it has really helped me. So the discipline that they didn't hire me with, the strict discipline and the integrity, and you look too serious for
It
us,
came in handy.
it came in handy. It came in very handy.
Actually, as she was narrating a story, I mean, from the start, she tells us she wanted to leave. She wanted something new. And then now you're pushed out and then you're hurt. And I'm asking myself, don't we do this often where we tell God, I want this? And then it happens and it looks like we had decided how we wanted God to make it happen or how we wanted it to happen. And so it's happened, but it's not exactly our way. And so we wanted it, but now it's not as we wanted it. We feel hurt. And I feel so she's talking about
No,
me
Jenny,
at
it
a
happens
point
a
as
lot.
well.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. I'm with you on this 110%. But you see, it sounds like, Jenny, sounds like it was all good. It's been all good till now. I mean, what probably was the first hit you got? First setback that got you thinking, maybe
Shouldn't have done this.
maybe I should have been back at the church. I was so respected, so important and all of that in the line of business. Because it sounds like you just started.
You wanted 100, how
yes,
give you 300?
I'm sure you did a lot of research and all, but then what was that one first setback related to business that, got you really thinking?
Yeah, so the first challenge I realized was that poultry was capital intensive. Ajima, you can invest and you don't finish investing. Like no money is too big or too small for poultry, depending on the size of your dream. So the first 6 months, my husband fed the birds, then they start laying the eggs. So when they start laying eggs, it's not like the first eggs that you start making money of. So it has to go on for some time. So let's say for a year, he was supporting with the startup and the investment. Then I had to fall on other. So my dad has to also pitch in with some monies, then some friends, some colleagues. Then these startup, the grants. So you need to work hard to show yourself approved for these grants.
For these grants.
You need to be clean to get the grants.
Yes. So we won a lot of awards, but some way, somehow, every time our money gets finished. So you are making sales, you are paying debts.
You are not holding on to money.
You are not holding on to money. You keep pushing in money. The money is also like revolving. But monies keep finishing in the business every now and then, because as you grow big, your impact also becomes bigger. You are paying more workers, so you need to sit back and see where to cut some margins every now and then. Another challenge that came was the death of birds. When you start getting diseases on a farm, it's so hurting. Now you buy a day old chick for like 20 cedis. That's a day old chick. You feed the birds, let's say for a year, they start laying, and if you are not careful, they die. It's very difficult.
They all die.
And with broiler production, you have a shorter season to turn over the chicken. But if you are done and you don't have market, Ajiman, believe you me, it's you can't sleep, because when the birds grow bigger, they eat more. So that is the rise of some of our chickens, some of our products, obolo chickens, the jumbo broilers. They become so huge, and if you don't have a market, they'll keep eating. If you feed them less, then their weight starts dropping. So they start eating your profits away. So you have to find a market at all costs. So that's how come we are always innovating, because the product will be consumed, but you need to see how the person would want to consume it from the farm to table. Do they want it whole? Do they want it cut up? Do they want it spiced? Do you want it grilled? So, and as an entrepreneur, you get paid for solving problems.
Mm.
Someone wants chicken, but she just wants only the thigh. Someone's favorite is the feet. Somebody also wants the wings. So we've gone to a number of restaurants. They've told us, oh, we want only chicken breast. So if you are not able to supply, then we can't do business with you. So you'd have to innovate. You have the chicken, it's alive, it's eaten away on the farm, all your profits are going, and it's really a challenge. People are eating chicken every day. They are buying from the cold stores because it's convenient. Yeah, so if you want to be in local production, how do you also make your product convenient for customers?
Which I'm still looking for that one that broke you so badly. I mean, you talked about having cried. You and I have had conversations, and particularly how you navigated that season. Good morning to Vera. Vera is listening to us. She's an entrepreneur like you. Good morning to Alfred. Alfred is one of our ardent listeners. He's been with us in our couples retreat. He says, the woman has moved me hard. I have to pray for God's guidance. So what your mother was saying, it's not been that smooth. This one instant, it just broke you. But then some way, somehow, the Lord held your hand. You managed to navigate. If you can share that one with us.
Yeah, so as I said, I've been a crybaby. I have
You know, Jenny, I was afraid to say it.
You didn't
but
want her to cry. I'm
You
trying
know,
to push her to cry.
I was
or something.
afraid to say that. It looks like you were crybaby. you love to cry.
yes, I love to express myself. I was trained as an artist, so just let it go. Let's. So I've cried a number of times, but the cry that I cried that I'll never forget was when I went to the farm and I saw chickens hungry. They were so hungry that they had eaten themselves. So cannibalism. They had eaten their brethren, their their brethren and sistren because they were hungry. So it brings to the Bible story where Samaria
Yeah,
was in so much trouble where
people were eating their
children. Mother will bring her child and discuss with the neighbor how they are going to chop off that child and eat for a week. Then after it's done,
come back on the other.
they'll come back on the other child. So the chickens had killed themselves because they were hungry. It was so bad.
You
There
didn't
was
have
no money
food
at
for
the
them?
time.
So there are feed shortages and also the money issue. So you need to feed right. The feed also doesn't mean the quantity. The quality is also very important. So where you source your feed to is also very important. People have sourced feed and they have brought in bird flu onto their farms. Yeah, so you really need to navigate through all these.
So it looks like on the outside, you can see an entrepreneur. It looks like everything is,
Oh, yeah.
going smoothly. They're selling their chicken, and then you sit with them, and all these things that you probably it would not cross your mind, are challenges you face.
You know, Jenny, I spoke to one of our listeners who is also into poultry, and she shared with me how bad this year 2025 had been. I mean, producing and not getting market, and having products, go bad and losing all the investment. It was very difficult when she was sharing. I mean, it had been a very bad year for them, and I think that's one part where innovation and all of that will come through, so that the end product doesn't just go bad.
Ajima, and so last year we had a lot of egg glut. So a lot of poultry for egg glut is when there's overabundance of the product and it's being consumed, but the rate is low. So you would ask yourself whether it's because there's more eggs in the system, or there isn't money to buy the eggs, or the consumers are actually fasting off the product. Yeah, so
you're constantly
market
having to do
research.
research.
Yes, so we need to do a lot of market research. However, you also need to stay true to your product and to your customers. You have to shift a bit, but you need to stay true. So if they know your product, egg has shelf life. So if within 3 weeks the eggs should be consumed, you have to factor in how fresh it is. So if you, as a farmer, You don't let your egg stay on the farm for more than 3 days. Calculating the shelf life. Some farmers will keep eggs because they want high prices. They'll keep eggs for 2 weeks on their farm. So you
Before it
pick it
goes
and
out.
already the
Oh.
shelf life is low. You stock the eggs and within a week two it's gone bad. And also feedback. These are people we work with. So when we produce, we give it to others to make margins of them, of our produce. So when they tell you something that they have had like customers feedback, you need to listen, because those who also stock the product, they don't also consume. They also
Going to be reselling.
also release it to the final consumer. So sometimes eggs can change hands like 5 times before it reaches the final consumer. So if you're a farmer and from the onset you have it all wrong, that means you are going to transmit. Yeah, so there's it's one of the reasons why we had the egg glut, like, and also consumption. So we have a lot of alternatives. Whether somebody who eats an egg today is not competing with other eggs. You are competing with other products.
Yeah.
Yes. So our taste for other foreign products, the sausages, the fishes, so other alternatives. So I'd, I belong to the women in poultry value chain, and we have an advocacy section where our leaders, led by Mama Victoria Nogbe, she approaches institutions to buy from us. So the prisons, the other state-owned institutions where they buy a lot of these products, you get in partnership with them, arrange with them, so they can buy on credit or something. But at least it wouldn't go bad. But we as success artists, we like giving to charity. We have some charity organizations. When you realize that this at this season you have an abundance of the products and it would go bad, you quickly release it to somebody to bless you. Release it to somebody who is hungry, somebody who doesn't have.
Speak a blessing over your
Speak a
life, yeah.
blessing. And we've been doing that with some institutions, and it's opened doors for us because
we've been
really we
speaking-
got it.
You know,
so
we've been speaking blessings over success for years now here at
Oh,
Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
We've been beneficiaries, and our time is almost up, and we have to be wrapping up. But Ajima, if we can go straight into what you would say to encourage someone.
No,
if we can
Jenny,
go into
that
or you
part is
still-
there. I wish I can just ask one
Oh,
question
okay,
that
go.
almost,
Yeah.
that move from Adenta
Yeah.
to Ibri.
Yeah.
The land, that decision to say, listen, we're going to buy this acres of land. This is how far we want to go. Invest in it. Because a lot of people listen.